Assalamualaikum students. Today we are going to start chemical changes. Okay. So what are the chemical changes? Chemicals changes are those in which there is a change in its chemical composition, or we can say that there is a formation of new product. So changes in which original substances undergoes a change in its chemical composition, or we can say, and hence there is a formation of new substances, or hence a new substance formed is called a chemical change. Okay, so chemical change means a change in chemical properties due to the formation of new substance. Since new substance is formed, its physical and chemical properties differ from the substance undergo the chemical change. Okay, as you know, the new product is formed, so there is a change in its properties also. So what are the features, what are the main characteristics of chemical change? There is a change in physical appearance as well as chemical composition. Okay, there is a change in physical and chemical composition. For example, when we burst a cracker or when we fire a cracker, a violent reaction takes place. Okay, and both its physical as well as chemical properties changes. So this is a chemical change. We cannot reburst the same cracker again. Okay, once the cracker is fired, okay, we cannot reburst it. And another feature of chemical change is the original substance undergo change its chemical composition, means a new substance is formed. Hence, it is represented by an equation. We studied earlier that physical changes are not represented by an equation because there is no formation of new substance, and in case of chemical change there is a formation of new substance. Okay, so it is represented by an equation. Okay, and another feature is that, like in physical changes, as we studied in physical changes, there is no gain or loss of mass during the change, so conservation of mass is conserved, or we can say law of conservation of mass holds good for chemical changes also. Another is important feature of chemical changes. Chemical changes are usually difficult to reverse by physical methods. Okay, it is very difficult to reverse the chemical change with the use of physical methods. Okay, the changes involve considerable amount of energy as compared to a physical change. See, as the reaction takes place, so it needs more amount of energy as compared to physical change. Okay, the changes involve a considerable amount of energy as compared to physical change. This is because a chemical change involves rearrangement of atoms and molecules. Okay, and this, some characteristics are also given that a chemical change is generally accompanied by specific characteristics. Okay, what are the characteristics? Like change of odor, smell, change of color, formation of precipitate. Okay, we see some solid residue is remain, so this is a precipitate. Evolution of gases. These are the some more characteristics takes place during chemical changes. So rusting of iron, germination of seeds, ripening fruits, fermentation of dough, curdling of milk. These are all the examples of action of medicines, examples of chemical changes. Okay, so another thing is that these are the two conditions are given for the rusting to be takes place. That is presence of air and moisture, or we can say that presence of air and water are these are the essential conditions for rusting of iron. Okay, rusting of iron means there is a condition if you want to rust an iron. Okay, so the presence of air should be must and presence of water is must. Okay, and we see during combustion or burning, the substances combines with oxygen at high temperature, releasing heat and light. So this is also a characteristic of chemical change. Okay, these are some changes which are natural phenomena. Okay, like weathering of rocks, formation of soil. Okay, so these are all volcanoes, So these are all, and chemical changes, all chemical changes are the examples of chemical changes. Okay, all the biological processes going on like photosynthesis, multiplication of cells, digestions. So these are all the examples of chemical changes. Okay, here we see cooking of food, and the composition change, new product is formed. Rusting of iron, again it's a chemical changes. Curdling of milk, okay, from the milk is also a chemical change. So here there are some chemical changes which are irreversible, okay, and reversible also. Here it is given as calcium carbonate is a reversible and irreversible. Okay, it breaks down to CaO and CO2. Or when we combine CaO and CO2, it again come back into its calcium and carbonate. Okay, and this is also hydrogen plus nitrogen gives ammonia. So it is also a reversible chemical change. Okay, decomposition of carbonic acids, phosphorus, pentachloride, and many others are reversible chemical changes. Okay, there's a comparison table of physical and chemical change. Let's have a quick look on it. The original substance does not undergo a change in its chemical composition and no new substance is formed. Okay, as we studied earlier, no chemical change in chemical composition, no new substance formed in case of physical change, and in chemical change there is a change in its chemical composition and also there is a new formation of substance. Okay, in physical it cannot be represented by equation as there is no new product formed. Chemical, in case of physical change, and in chemical change there is represented by equation because a new substance is formed. In physical change, small amount of energy is required. In chemical change, large amount of energy is required. Okay, so physical change can be reversed and chemical change cannot be reversed by physical methods. Okay, students, Jazakallah khair.